wanna come and we should have fun. La 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 la. Everyone a come and we must have fun. Every day we say that things is hard. Still we better than plenty abroad. Earthquake come and it shake down some. Earth wind come and it blow down some. La 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 la. Everyone a come and we should have fun. La 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 la. Everyone a come and we must have fun. Come, British one, come.
Why'd you stop it?
Look, man, your mind can't keep reliving this.
Well, it can handle it. Just give me 2 more hours.
I won't be responsible for this.
Well then, turn it back on and get the hell out. I don't need you. Hey, I said turn it back on! Asshole. At the end of 1945, Harry S. Truman was the 33rd President of the United States after the untimely death of President Roosevelt. Japan had surrendered after atomic bombs were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. George Orwell had released the book Animal Farm, and Berlin was occupied by the Red Army along with US, French, and British forces throughout Germany. In Russia, a man by the name of Mikhail Kalashnikov was hard at work on creating an automatic infantry gun for the 7.62x39 cartridge. He had lost a military arms design competition the year before, but the next prototypes, one stamped and one milled, were vastly different from his previous designs. The AK-1, the Avtomov Kalashnikov, or the AK-46 for its year of entry, blew away the competition. In 1947, after a few essential updates, the AK-47 was ready for military trials and was officially adopted to service in 1949. And the rest is history. Well, technically, all of that was history. And here we are, 70 years later, with an AK, a gun that built its reputation on cheap, rugged, industrial reliability, the only thing to come out of communism that works. So how refined has it become over the last 7 decades? Before we can answer that, let's clarify what we're working with. AKs are produced in dozens of countries with various specifications and qualities. So this is an American-produced AK-P by Palmetto State Armory, P being for pistol. It features a 10.5-inch nitride finished barrel with a 1-in-9 twist. The receiver is stamped steel and feels archaic but indestructible. The dust cover has a full Picatinny rail and is solid for keeping 0. The front trunnion, receiver, and bolt are all hammer forged for durability. The charging handle is part of the receiver and reciprocates. This particular specimen has been upgraded with a slew of parts, replacing the Magpul furniture, trigger, and muzzle device. The ALG Trigger is, in my opinion, a must. It vastly improves the feel of the gun, and it's extremely cheap for just how much it does at only $60. The mushy stock trigger is forgettable at best, compared to the light, crisp pulls you get from the ALG. An upgraded charging handle not only looks good, but keeps your hand free of some of the sharper stamped parts that can chew up your hand. This CHR Customs is substantial and easy to grab. The brake is an NC Star Vermacht and spits some sweet fireballs. It's fun as hell and makes for some great videos and photos. It also keeps it pretty stable. I'm sure people will argue the benefits of a flash hider, tactically speaking, and that's cool, but this is really built more as a toy, so the fire spitter stays. The handguard is PSA's own billet aluminum version, which you can order on the AK, but it's harder to find configured as such. Palmetto State Armory is based out of South Carolina, the Palmetto State, thus the name, and has humble beginnings that started in 2008 in an accountant's garage, and now offers a wide range of affordable American-made firearms for the masses, including various ARs, AKs, handguns, and more. One of my favorite guns from PSA is the KS-47. It's an AR chambered in 7.62x39, but uses AK mags instead of the proprietary 7.62x39 AR mags, and they are sweet. I will be getting one of those one day. Despite their wealth of options and well-populated storefront, PSA holds onto the philosophy of freedom over profit and sell as many guns to as many law-abiding citizens as possible. I'm not joking, that's literally their mission statement. As a firm believer of the Second Amendment and the idea that an armed society is a polite society, this is something I can get behind. So back to my earlier question, just how refined has the AK become since its introduction in the late 1940s? A time when a gallon of gasoline would set you back 20 cents. minimum wage was 40 cents, and a year at Harvard University was $420. A time when backpacks were called knapsacks and panties were called knickers. A time of khaki wackies, jive bombers, and Dickie shin crackers. Well, not too much. For starters, the action is still industrial at best. Try to charge this thing quietly. Sorry. Don't mind me. Sounds like two pieces of farm equipment trying to hook up, which I don't know if that suggests they have complementary purposes or they like to bang each other. Also, like the original, it's still a bit heavy. No polymers here except for the grip and the brace. Now, you may not notice this in normal shooting where the weight is helping smooth things out, but when you practice reloads one-handed, it becomes quite noticeable. Remember, the best weight reduction you can do is curls. Operation is certainly more involved. Mag changes take more practice than an AR thanks to no last round hold open. You can get mags that do this, but they don't come as standard. The safety takes more effort to manipulate and blocks the bolt from giving you anything but a peep at a loaded cartridge, so you have to unsafety it to chamber a round. To those unfamiliar with AKs, this might sound detrimental. To those who are familiar with AKs, this might still sound detrimental. But to those who are AK fanatics, c'est la vie. To me, these quirks and quality of life exclusions are kind of like choosing to drive a car with a manual transmission. Yes, it's more work and it takes longer to master, but that connection, the engagement, has a higher payoff when you get it right. You also know that if the gun messes up, there's a greater chance that it was user error rather than mechanical failure, which will frustrate some, but drive others to work harder. If you don't already know, AKs have a little bit of a reputation for being hard to kill. Part of this has to do with how easy they are to take down and clean, but even when running dirty surplus ammo, they can go long periods between cleaning and lubrication and still work just fine. This has to do with the intentionally large tolerances implemented into its design that allows dirt and grime to get in without halting operation. When you grew up in Siberia and you're used to the worst of conditions, you want something that can run no matter what. Now, I'm not recommending that you go long periods between maintaining your AK, I'm just pointing out what's made it such a successful tool. Shooting impressions. This model with all its relevant upgrades is an absolute hoot to shoot. The drama of the looks, the huge flame, and the overall tremendous spectacle from a rather compact firearm is only matched in wonder by how soft and smooth to shoot it is. My AR-47 has more recoil than this does, which is either a testament to just how smooth this gun is, or that I built a shit gun. Now, smooth is still subject to how well you insert the mag, or if you remember to disengage the safety when chambering, or how tired your arms are. But when you're performing, it performs. You can shoot it fast, thanks to the ALG Trigger, and repeat shots stay right on target. The recoil impulse is well mitigated by the springs inside, and the brake that I've come to nickname the Peacock. And not because it has a veggie-sized member, but because of its pattern. It's pretty accurate, too. Now, I have no relevant data on this, so you're just gonna have to take my word for it. This particular gun was purchased and is owned by our resident lefty David, who bought it from Palmetto State Armory directly for about $800. And after upgrades, not including the optic, was about $1,100 total. And I gotta say, especially with the small changes he's made, this is a well-sorted, fun, and reliable gun. It's on the heavy side, and it's rugged, albeit coarse and unrefined in some places. And like a burnout in a 7-Eleven parking lot, it's not for everybody. Now, am I an AK guy or an AR guy? Not really either one. I am a pro-responsible gun ownership, pro-Second Amendment guy that wants people to have the choice of either one. Or both. Or the weird quirky half-breed like the KS-47. If you found this video helpful, please consider liking and subscribing. Check us out on Subscribestar and Patreon. And thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Oh, it hit me right in the mouth.
Shooter ready. Ready. Stand by. Go. Shit, comrade! No! Have sex with it, comrade! Magazine, comrade! Magazine, comrade!